This is the Crystal Chronicles, your Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia podcast, with Erolai, Kreese, and Mark, bringing you all your DiFFOO news and talk. Welcome to Season 4, the LGBT era. Now let's start the show.
Welcome everyone to episode 137 of the Crystal Chronicles, recorded this January 28th, 2021. I'm Mark, your host, and I am joined by a cadre of others, including your friend and mine, Erole. Ero, how are you doing tonight?
Great. Enjoying my brand new glasses I picked up earlier than expected today. So yay!
Now, Kreese is taking another week off. He's got a lot of things going on right now, so send your love to him here in the coming week. But they will be back with us soon, we hope. And so to fill in the time, we have the TCC intern, PoteauCedar. Cedar, how are you doing tonight? Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are and what's your relationship with DiFFOO?
First of all, hey Mark, it's a pleasure to be on the podcast. A longtime fan. I myself am kind of a day one player. I started day one and I probably stopped playing around the Setzer event because I just kept getting unlucky. And eventually, the game just drew me back and I just fell back in love with it.
Well, we are glad to have you here and looking forward to your insights. Kreese is fine. Kreese has been busy at work and they are busy with some family situations right now. So no worries about that. And you can see Kreese in Discord and everything else. So, at the last few times Kreese had been on talking about how busy things are, and you can imagine where they work. It's kind of crazy right now in schools and universities all over the country and the world. So Mino Spellgood, I think, is also here. Mino, are you going to say anything? All right. Well, maybe not. I'm sure when Mino needs...
Sorry, I'm so sorry. My mic was actually muted this whole time. That's completely on me. Sorry. Can we redo that? Mark, throw it back to me one more time.
Mino Spellgood is also with us. Mino, how are you doing today?
Oh, hey, Mark. Thanks. So thanks for having me on tonight. Here for two reasons. One is just like 100% of everything I do, this appearance is motivated out of spite. So if you are listening, you know who you are. And the second thing is that I'm actually, I was actually here to be Kreese's replacement tonight. So, or at least that's what I thought. So I'm not actually here as Mino, but more like replacement Kreese. So please temper your expectations.
All right. Well, the cast is assembled. But before we get in the news of the day... Oh, well, first of all, I want to say thank you to Ryan is the Bomb 203. Ryan is our TCC musical, what would you say, musical, our musician, our TCC musician. And there is the full version. I'm going to share that in chat, and it's also going to be in the links in the show notes. Guru is fine. Ryan is the Bomb 203 on YouTube, does DiFFOO content and also does, of course, all the musical arrangements. Did this Tactics arrangement. The full version of that is, yes, our producer, our musical producer. Who are on the talk shows, the late shows, what do they call the band leaders? What's his name on David Letterman? They all got their own person. The house, no, like who's the leader of the band? They usually have there's a name for that somewhere. Like Paul Schaefer. What do they call Paul Schaefer? Is he the direct? I don't know. Anyway, Ryan is the Bomb 203. I linked it above the full version to that beautiful Tactics arrangement. There you go. So all the music that we have in our intros are from Ryan. We thank him for his work. We also, Cedar put together a TCC global first contest where you were able to go on our Discord and guess who you thought would be the GL first for the 3rd anniversary. And there were several who guessed Belthier. I have their names up on screen. Tim Seifs, K1BO, Quetzalma, Odie, The One Nation, DC, Olg, Neckalord, Sean, 1189, Vetplor, Bluer Buffalo. I don't know Bluer Buffalo. They're on our Discord, obviously. Jeff Leopard, Baron, Theologica, Minion, Insolent, Lard, Lislazette, Weighted, AJ Lopez, 123, Kyrie, Aether, Atui Project, and Zorotustra. Woo! Congrats. Yeah, Soraya, you should have just clicked on all the options. No, Cedar would have been on top of you there, and you would have not known. So congratulations to all of our contest winners. You were entered into a pool. I decided among this pool to randomly choose 2 people. How much, Mino, how much is a regular Moogle pass? It's like
$5, right?
It's like $8, $7. I mean, money doesn't mean anything to me. So, someone who doesn't have any money, put that into perspective. It's between $5 and $10, right? So I decided we would give away from this list of people who guessed correctly. I guessed correctly, and you can watch that in that video that I did a couple months ago. It's $4.99. So
yeah, that's what I said. Like I was gonna say, Mark, I guess money's lost all meaning to you for real. If
I don't have any. What is money? I don't understand.
What's a mog pass nowadays?
Yeah, what's a mog? $20? What do the commoners spend on Defo? I don't really know.
So disgusting.
So this is what we're going to do. We'll do $10 either Apple, Android, or Google Play gift cards or PayPal to 2 winners, which I will I already chose them, but I'll pretend like I'm randomly choosing them now. Boop, 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 boop. I'm looking in the random number. I did this earlier. Random number generator. And the winners are you ready? Drum roll, please. Ryan's not here. Thank you. Seifs. And where's my other one? Jeff Leopard. There we go. I had to look there. I have it written down in front of me. Seifs and Jeff Leopard. You have won 2 $10. It's rigged. It was random. Yeah, well, Pocket Jokers and Soraya, you weren't on that list to choose from. But thank you. Congratulations to all of you who chose correctly. That's the pre-show slide. And we are going to do, so those of you who 100% rigged. You didn't win. It was rigged. We are going to do another giveaway. I have a special giveaway for the 3rd anniversary. So pay attention to that. I'll talk a little bit about that at the end of the show. And then going into February, going to do a special giveaway. But Seifs and Jeff Leopard give you a $10 pass to help get your, it is rigged just like my RNG, to help get your MOG passes here for a couple months at least. I guess that's 2 months of MOG passes. So congratulations. And thank you for participating. Cedar, thank you for putting that together. I thought that was a good idea. All right. Now, we had the SQEX community stream, Joshua Glacy, bringing us an hour and a half. It was long. I think I don't think they're usually that long. Hour and a half, maybe a little bit longer, for all of the 3rd anniversary stuff. So they went through all of that kind of stuff. And then already, now we haven't officially started 3rd anniversary yet. We're still in the countdown to 3rd anniversary. Yeah, hour and 10 minutes of co-ops, 20 minutes of actual content. Yeah, that's about right. Cosmos co-ops just take a while when you're playing with random people. But tons of game updates already in the game. So I just want to go through them quickly. And then I will Arrow, Mino, Cedar. I'll shoot them out to you. in terms of things you want to highlight. But just to go over all of the updates we've already gotten. These are already in the game. There are some more updates coming. These are the updates coming already. They're already in the game. We now have status badges. So we got 30 tokens, cost 10 tokens per badge. I think there's about 8 different badges you can choose. The little badge is an icon next to your name, your username. When you're in co-op, it shows up in co-op. Just another flare. There's going to be a couple special 3rd anniversary ones. That's in there. The free daily single, which is kind of a ticket pull. You get a free single pull every single day on one banner of your choice. That is now in the game. That also comes with a free pull notification from the home screen. So there's a big glowing free pull every day when you log in. There is a party summon page, which is the party used. So after you complete content, you can press party used. It shoots up the party that you used, including artifacts. Very, very nice. We've already seen people sharing that, using that on YouTube. Very, very nice, unexpected quality of life upgrade. Now we also have another GL first, Elite Hunts. Once a week, you can spend 900 Dissidia points and get a random Chaos Hunt, and you get 2 Moogle tokens for that as well. So basically 2 tickets, 900 Dissidia points for 2 tickets. There's an update to the cutscene UI, so you can basically it's just a switch button to turn the HUD on and off during cutscenes. Update to the perfect clear prompts, so you can see which team you replaced or something like that in Dimensions End and Heretics. The crystal color names have been added to the crystal strength menu, so you can actually see the name of the color as opposed to just the color. So it now says black, white, etc. instead of like purple. This is for people that might have not able to see colors. Crystal capacity was increased from 9,999 to 99,999. AFMAO got an update, and so did Arden. They both got in-game animation and voice updates. AFMAO got voice updates. Arden got an update with his stack mechanic, so it's just a little easier to see. Moogle Pass now impacts illusion points, which is divine boards, which we'll talk about later. Illusion boards, which are divine boards, are added. Restricted character button added to Abyss, so that's just another function for Abyss. And summon blessings have been adjusted for the following summons. Afreet, Leviathan, Brothers, and Diabolos have all been increased. So, for example, Afreet is now 30% at 50% or higher HP. Example, Diabolos is now 50% in Brave Up. So they all got boosted. Very, very cool. Leviathan's 15 speed down. Brothers is 30% max Brave Up. So those were the 4 that were adjusted. That is a lot of in-game updates. Arrow, anything you want to highlight from that? Anything you were excited about? Anything unexpected from that huge list of crap that they gave us randomly?
Okay, so the free daily, I love it. It reminds me of Record Keeper's thing where you did the free daily pull, but it's on a specific banner and it has like everything it feels like in the game. But this is better because you pick which banner you want to pull from. So the pool of items thankfully will be much, much smaller and you might just get something. This is essentially 365 extra tickets per year. So you're going to probably get something, hopefully, in those 365 daily tickets.
Well, after 3 years of gameplay, statistically you'll get a burst. That free
there you go. So, party summon page. Oh man, the party usage page. I love that thing, man. And then this makes it so much easier for people to go, hey, this is my team I used to win this fight. And it has like everything there. Perfect. Beautiful. Very easy to share wherever you want to share it. Cause now it's one screenshot instead of like the 2 we used to have to take, the one with the party before you beat the boss. And then the one showing the score and everything. And then you still didn't get all like the the spheres you used, the arts, and all that other stuff. You still had to go and take another screenshot or two of that. This just puts it all in one place. I like it.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yoshi Pasta says AFMA voice lines had been in the game for a while. SQEX just decided to announce it. Was there a change in the animation, though? Had that been updated already? Somebody know if there's actually been any change, or if they just told us there was a change. I was just reading off what they said.
I was confused. What is the Arden stack thing? Like, I didn't have a chance to play with Arden to see what the change was. What is the change? Does anyone know that as well?
It looks like the stacks are now like beside him as opposed to over his head, I guess. Yeah, I don't. It's for the BT breaking. It's stacks for his BT effect, because remember his burst effect. Thank you for that, Virgil. Thank you for that clarification. His burst effect is a stacking burst, so you have to have so many breaks to get the max. So now it has a number by it, so you know how many stacks it has. That makes
cool.
much more sense. Yeah.
That's dope. I like that then. Okay. Oh, yeah, and of course the colorblind thing. I'm glad they have named the crystal colors, because anything that can help our colorblind folks is very welcome. I'm not colorblind, but I have seen some players complain about it in the past, because they just honestly were like, I thought this was a green crystal or something. I can't tell that this is a green crystal, for example. And I can understand that would have to be very frustrating. So I welcome it, even if I personally don't need it. And of course, the crystal capacity change, guys. I think we have double rewards from Cycle Quest coming, right? Or are they already up? I can't remember. Please, if you need some crystals, I know I do. I'm going to be using my Una and all those times 30-minute watch my TV shows and let Una farm me some crystals. So if you got some of those 30-minute books, this is a good chance to use them. Otherwise, the status thing. Oh, I almost forgot to mention that. The status badges are very cool. I think it was very smart of them to give us lots of points, but never enough points to get all the status badges. So everybody will have a unique set of choices they have made over time as they give us points. I hope they give us some more when anniversary comes, so that we can at least pick one of the 2 anniversary ones coming out. I really want that cake, the Mog Cake one. I think that one's adorable. Oh, and that's it. So I'm going to pass it over to our intern, Mr. PoteauCedar.
Well, I honestly wasn't expecting this big of an update. And a lot of things I feel like nobody was asking for. And it's just a godsend from the developers to think of like the name for the crystals. Like it just brings so much accessibility to the game, which I just love. I would personally think my favorite features for this update is the party use screen. There's just a certain design towards it. It's just all the information you need is right there. It's just so easy to like take a screenshot, put it in Discord. By the way, we have a TCC Discord. You should join. And it's just amazing. I also really enjoy the elite hunts. I think it's almost a breath of fresh air, just revisiting a chaos stage that we've done before. I think it's gonna do the daily grind just some justice.
Yeah,
I think that's
Nebel. Nebel Young is saying that I'm not going to buy any badges, and Apaka Jokers is asking what are the badges. Let me see if I can. Where's gameplay here? So if you see here next to my name, there is a Moogle. At Pocket Jokers, if you're looking on screen. So you go into your settings, and there is an option to add a badge, and you can buy a couple badges in the badge shop. And so you see the podcast Moogle. It's nice that they included the TCC logo, so all of you can share your love. Thank you, Kmart, for the TCC podcast right here by putting the TCC podcast logo. Thank you for SQEX Joshua and SQEX Lacey for adding that into the game. Was really, really, really convenient for that. So that's what it is. That's what we're talking about. And that does show up in co-op. And when you have a name that's super long, like my name is about as long as you can get in the game, it's super aggressive, because if I'm on the left side of the screen, like my name and that Moogle head like cover the half of the field. So it's really aggressive. Not not really good thinking there, I guess, in the long run, but it is kind of funny. Mino, yeah, what are your thoughts on all the crap that we got?
I mean, the three of you guys covered a lot, so I'll just pick out things that haven't been touched, or things that really stand out. Just to reiterate, any quality of life is a welcome change. Status badges are very cool. Any bit of customization looks like some. I'm seeing in chat and what you just said. There's some mixed feedback about that because, like you said, people are saying it is very aggressive and covers a lot of screen on, like, say, friends lists and co-ops. So I didn't notice that, but it seems like that's a sentiment that's being thrown out there for sure. One of the quality of life changes I didn't see listed or named is that when I logged in and I hit accept in my inbox for the daily rewards, my inbox went from 400 plus items to 0. So that's a very good quality of life that's happened. And like, I don't know if they just threw it all in the trash or they just got rid of the alerts. Either way, I'm grateful. I'm tired of seeing 99 plus in a giant red circle every time I log into the game. So thank you, Square Enix, for that. And looking through, I got nothing other than the party summary page is brilliant.
Shalaster, thank you so much for your continued support of the podcast. We truly appreciate that. And if you just got a gift sub to Shalaster from /Shalaster, make sure you thank them for that. Thank you very much, Shalaster. Appreciate that. Well, there's a couple other things obviously I wanted to highlight from the stream. Those were just the quality of lives that are already in there. Make sure you can let us know what your favorite quality of life is so far. Again, we didn't get the 10. We didn't get the two big ones that I think we want. We want the 10 ticket multi-draw. We didn't get that yet. We want Auto Plus. We didn't get that yet. But I'm sure we're going to get them sooner than JP got them. There's no reason to withhold them any too much longer. Yeah, Mina,
Mark, I want to touch on one thing before we moved off. I almost forgot. The daily free ticket pulls is to cover Kreese's role, who always warns of the dangers of capitalism. I feel it would be remiss if I did not mention what a brilliant business move it is, because us veterans, Mark and I, know that the best way to not spend resources is to not look at the pull screen. And this is the whole point of the free ticket. Is we already talked about why free pulls can be a trap, because you can accidentally pull a character that you weren't even going for and then say, oh, well, might as well invest now, which I see all the time, by the way. But on top of that, this makes sure you open your app daily and look at the pull banners daily, and you get in the habit of pressing the button. Very smart, overlaying the free pull button over the multi-pull button, so that it's just a second click away. So it's building the habit of going into the banners every day and hitting the multi-pull button. It's very, very smart. So the people out, it's like giving you a free quarter, free slot pull when you enter the casino, which all casinos do. So just be careful, guys. Anyone who's addicted to pulling.
Yeah, it was like when you went into the arcade, as a kid, and the arcade manager, who was probably like 15, gave you the first play free, put in a quarter for you. Here, you can play the first, it's just like drug dealing, pretty much. Get the kids hooked, and that's what you do. But
Mark, did you go to I'm so sorry. Did you go to Chuck E. Cheese when you were younger, and they had those? I
don't think Chuck E. Cheese was not. Well, I mean, by the time I was probably 10, Chuck E. Cheese was around.
Damn,
we had Showbiz Pizza. Which got bought out by very, very similar. Showbiz Pizza, very similar to Chuck E. Cheese. Chuck E. Cheese bought out Showbiz Pizza. Showbiz Pizza also had the animatronic animals, had Billy Bob and the something band. So it was a big bear, and very similar. Terrifying. And you probably shouldn't have brought your kids there, but Showbiz, where a kid can be a kid. Showbiz Pizza is good times. But I think you're right. What if you click that, You're all done. I'm done. I'm not pulling on anything. I click that one ticket pull, that free that free single pull, and I get a burst. Well, now what am I going to do? Am I going to chase this LD? I'm going to have to go back on this LD banner, or I get the LD. I'm going to have to chase the EX. That's good. It makes sense. There's no reason for them not to do that. Like it says, it gets you in the habit of pulling, and that's the bane. I'm going to wonder if some of our millionaire friends are just going to not do it.
No way. Are you kidding?
Just gonna
it
completely.
It gives them an easier way to hoard because it's 365 extra tickets.
That's Jake said that earlier in chat. 365 extra tickets a year. That's Mino's worst nightmare.
That's 365 bronzes.
That is 365 potential burst weapons. At least statistically, a third of a burst weapon every year. So it can happen. It can happen, and make sure you share it on every content creator. If you get a single ticket burst, I think Broadway got with his single ticket free ticket or free single pull. I think he got Ramza's LD. Spoilers for his video. I'm pretty sure that was on the free pull. So or it was like the second ticket after that. Well, beyond all that update stuff, we also had Jin Fujiwara, Jin, the producer of the game, did the famous anniversary Q&A. I know, Mino, this is your favorite time of the year. Just to give you a refresher in case any of you were looking to talk about any of these questions. The first question was about icons to distinguish between buffs. The second question was about EX abilities. The third question was about Abyss. The fourth question was about friend support, reloading the friend support. The fifth question was about co-op being crap. The sixth question was about not being able to, armor, making it easier to purchase armor. Seventh question was about renaming turn counts for buffs and debuffs when the status effects are on allies and enemies. The numbers overlap, all that kind of stuff. So those were the 7 questions. All in all, not the worst questions we've had over the last 3 years through this Reddit Q&A. But Arrow, any thoughts on the questions or the answers that we received?
I'm shocked they answered them so directly. I'm used to the Q&As being like just random PR babble stuff,
Maybe in a future update. We are thinking about that very much. Maybe in a future update.
Exactly, but this time they actually kind of went, we are going to address this. Like, they didn't try to skirt around the issue. They went, yes, we already have something in the works. We know this is something you guys want. It might take us a while, but we are aware of the issue. We are working on it. I was shocked. I was like, holy crap, they answered these. I was ready to just ignore the whole Q&A section. But then they started answering that first question. I was like, wait a second. They were actually giving a real answer for once. I'll stay tuned. I was about to tune it out and just start doing something else for a little bit because that stream was getting long. But that wound up being a very engaging section of the whole live stream. I was very impressed.
Cedar, any thoughts about these questions or the answers or kind of the things they were hinting at?
I'm really happy that it seems like Joshua and Glacy personally picked these questions compared to the other ridiculous questions we usually get every year. And I'm just like Arrow said, I was legitimately surprised by their answers. I actually tuned in. I was like, okay, I gotta really listen. Did you have any thoughts, Mino?
Since I'm here as Crease's replacement tonight, I'm not allowed to be negative or swear, so no additional thoughts. Back to you, Mark.
Yeah, so a nice potato pass in there, everybody. Good work. So we also got LD boards and LD calls, so that is now implemented in the game. Characters will get LD boards. They cost 3,000 character board points on top of your normal training board. So you have your 15 board, your 35 board, your EX board, and now your LD board. So it's a total of 8,000 points to max a character's 4 special boards, 4. So you'll have a 4 next to your name for anybody who has all their boards mastered, who has LD boards available. And of course, you can bring, if you have those characters mastered, you can bring their LD calls and their regular calls. So they'll get their regular call and their LD call. So right now that's just Ramza and Machina, but that will be increased in the future, and we'll talk more about LD calls because they are significant and they're a lot more powerful than the regular calls. More importantly, we did learn who the GL first, and we already told you, Balthier from Final Fantasy XI. Apparently, I saw that on Facebook. Nobody played Final Fantasy XI. Who the hell is this character? No, Balthier from Final Fantasy XII, the leading man himself, one of my favorite characters, is getting an early GL first LD. So Balthier is not received his LD in Japan to this day. So he would not have gotten it for about 8 months from now at least, and probably not for a year or so from this time in GL. So we are getting his LD early. He becomes very interesting in terms of getting a special overhead buff, which allows, just from max limit breaking his LD, you don't have to press any buttons. He starts with 1 stack. It gets up to 5 stacks. When it gets to 5 stacks, he gives the entire party auras. Not terrible auras, but besides max or attack and max brave, he also gives parties brave damage up and HP damage up. In this unable to be dispelled, unable to be removed buff as long as he's on the field. So that is very nice. He also Esnas, which is how we say that, apparently. He also Esnas the party, so he removes negative buffs, and he can dispel enemies, of course, with his mechanic. So he is a very niche character still, but he also then now adds a lot more party utility and is unique among that ability to do HP and brave damage up to the entire party against foes. So I'm looking forward to him. He gets that hot Tactics costume. You all wanted Tactics characters. Here you go. You got your Tactics character, War of the Lions, Balthier. You're all set. You should all be thanking SQEX for how wonderful they are. Hashtag SQEX is not your friend, but just in case they are, you can write them thank you letters anyway. And people are losing their freaking minds. I don't. Oh, I mean, people are losing their minds, saying what a crappy Balthier, how crappy he is, and then content creators are saying, why are you being so angry? And other people are saying, no, we have the right to be angry. And of course, who the cares? It's just a game, so play it or don't play it. But I'm excited. He's one of my favorite characters, and if you've been listening to this podcast for the last 3 years, you should know that always my favorite characters get priority, and I told you it was most likely going to be Balthier, so you should have known it was going to be him, and he's one of my favorite characters to play because he has that unique mechanic. I love stealing enemy buffs, even though it's not always particularly useful. I'm going to make sure I try to find ways to make it useful, and there are going to be, as the Tonberry Troupe, Black Nero, Mino, they've gone through and they've looked at several of these fights coming up, and there are some specific fights where he's going to be really useful. So is he going to be Aranea? No. And I mean, here's my thing. For all of the people like, oh, we want a character as good as Aranea who's going to break the game for 6 months. Or even Beatrix, who was usable for 6 months, but really shined for 3 months, or even Zaz, who dominated for 3 months, or even, early Tidus, who dominated for 3 months. SQEX has learned from their mistakes, and that's why we're not getting new characters. We are getting time travelers in these GL first LDs, and they are powerful, but they're not game-breaking powerful. They're going to be kind of a cog in the machine in terms of JP didn't need them, so you don't need to pull for them, but JP didn't have them, so they're going to provide some additional use, additional longevity in ways that probably some other characters won't. But I don't think we're ever going to have another Aranea situation. I think that time is done. So I think you can be as upset as you want about it. I think that's done. So all you can do is hopefully it will be one of your favorite characters that you get to play now and you get to play later. And that's what I'm excited about. Like I said, Balthier is one of my favorite characters, so I get to enjoy him now for a few months. And then when he gets his LD boards, rework, whatever in the future, going to get to enjoy him again. So I'm happy. If you don't like it, that's fine. It's not going to make me upset. It doesn't matter to me if you like characters or not. I'm literally unfazed by your enjoyment of the game. I enjoy the game for what I like, and what I like about the game is collecting heroes and beating content with synergy. So, Arrow, what are your thoughts on the Leaning Man and what he brings to the game and what he brings to the team?
I've always loved playing Balthier in this game. I joined this game actually when Balthier's event was out, along with Aiko in the first year. So yeah, pretty early on player, but not a day one player. So of course I pulled for Balthier, and I've always enjoyed Balthier on every tuning pass. I think a lot of people were complaining about his low hit count, but I think people haven't realized his potencies are pretty good. Like, I don't know, he's able to hit pretty good numbers as long as he's built a little bit around him, which isn't too difficult these days. Another thing is, HaateXIII actually mentioned it about there were people in the stream who were insulting Square Enix. They were insulting SQEX Joshua and Glacy. And I don't have a problem if you are unhappy with the character choice, but I do draw the line where people start to insult or threaten like people. That's just a little too much. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy, please. I understand if you're not happy with the choice. That's cool. But don't yell and scream and throw insults. That's just unnecessary. And kind of like you might need to re-examine your priorities in life kind of thing. But I think Balthier will be an interesting unit. I think he is an easy to build around unit. He has always been that way. He kind of I have all these ideas already for how I'm going to play Balthier, and I hope to make some of these ideas work. But he is going to be fun, and I think he's going to be one of those units where, like, people were excited about Vivi, but then they had to deal with that life loss mechanic, and they didn't like Vivi so much anymore. So he kind of became like this. We know he's strong, but a lot of players had a lot of difficulty using him. Where I don't think that problem is going to as easily occur with Balthier. If you like somebody like Kurosame, this is basically kind of the same idea. You got this guy who's an aura bot. He's going to do he's going to help your team out, and his party mates are going to matter. If you put him with good party mates, people who can do lots of damage really quickly, or just characters who could benefit from having additional HP damage buffs and brave damage buffs, he's going to rock your world. But if you probably put him with older characters, well, of course he's going to not really help your party much. He might a little bit, but I like his kit. I think what he got made sense. And I like that he's not just this niche dispeller anymore. They're doing a really good job, I feel like, trying to differentiate the original 3 dispellers, which were Ferris, Balthier, and Vanille. Yeah. So they've already proven that Ferris is more of a debuff-heavy utility character, where now Balthier is he's like an aura person, along with having this niche of Esna and what is it? The whole buff stealing dispel mechanic. I think that's really cool, and I'm really happy they're doing this, because I remember one problem a lot of people had before was like, oh, why bother picking any of these other dispellers? I already have this one. Well, now you can argue, they're actually quite different, and you might want them for different things. I appreciate that greatly.
Yeah, and speaking of SQEX Joshua is with us and reminds us that Fran says you're more of a supporting role to Balthier, which is true. Nice. He has not ever really been a primary damage dealer in this game. Right. He doesn't do terrible damage, but he's not really a primary damage dealer. Right. He now shines in that utility support role much more. Yoshi Pasta says if people want an overpowered GL first, they should have played 3 years ago or last last year or 2 years ago. So you missed your opportunity, folks.
You did. But hey,
yeah.
you're not missing much. Some of the early stuff was not necessarily fun either. I'm going to pass it off to, I guess, Mino this time. Mino has not gone yet, I think, on his Balthier thoughts outside of, obviously, the little show he did with Black Nero.
Yeah, got a couple questions here, Mino, and I'll let you go here in a second. But Final ASIM says asked about Dimensions End Entropy 20. I think that is the Dimensions End that really highlights weakness damage. So I don't think he'll necessarily be a bad pick there, but I don't think he'll be the most ideal pick there. We'll see when we get there. I'm sure we'll figure it out. I think my Balthier is in some other tiers, so I'll have to see if that. Final ASIM, does your GL first formula also apply here for Balthier? GL first equals pity. Yes, it does. Yeah, I'm going to do it. So I wouldn't suggest you doing anything else than I would do. So I'm going to pity, and there you go. So. And he does have the attack keystone armor. So yes, and that's good. That is Phelan saying they do give him the attack keystone armor or the damage dealer armor. But that's good because he has limited brave hits. What did we say? 4 brave hits on his skill 1, 3 brave hits on his skill 2. And so the extra overflow brave damage is going to help him actually there. So he would have been fine with the supporter armor too, but I think the damage armor is fine on him. Yeah. There you go, Mino. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
Hold on. Let me do this. I'm leaving my hot takes at the door. Chat's asking, guys. I'm here for Kreese tonight again. As a reminder, no hot takes tonight. BC's not here. He's usually my enabler.
He's in chat, so
he's the lighter to my fuse. So now that he's a good distance away, I can calmly look at this situation. I know he's going to say something right now, but not to over. So I agree with Phelan. Actually, you guys are saying he was never much of a DPS. I always said that his niche as a dispeller was always the DPS dispeller. If you compare all the dispellers side by side, his whole gimmick was he was the worst dispeller because it was only 2 by 2s or 3s. Compared to everyone else who's doing full dispels, but he did the most damage. And I think I'm justified in saying that because, again, he's getting the DPS armor. And, who knows what his rework will be on JP. But yes, his utility is lessened, and the auras are going to be smaller for, when JP in the future, but he should hit hard. Anyways, that aside, my new strategy, honestly, is to look at units that have the most recurring synergy with the amount of foresight we get. And thank God for that GL foresight. Based on that alone, Balthier is a worthy investment. He is, he's got a couple of CQs in his belt. He's going to be good for the Abyss that he's coming with. Yeah. And he's even synergy for a Divine board farm, which is a big deal, which we'll talk about later when we talk about Divine Diabolos, because Divine board synergy helps a lot. Not only that, but as BC said, there's a couple of fights where he will be key to. For example, a lot of people pulled Vivi, so they didn't have to pull Dessel or Zonde for their respective fights. Very, very heavy push towards Dark. There's some very heavy pushes towards Dispels that people might not want. Mostly Arciela and Sayador when they come back. And I know not everybody wants those 2 characters coming back to pull for their LDs. So I think objectively, Balthier is a good investment.
Yeah, he comes back on Divine Brothers. He's synergy on Divine Brothers, and that's with Cloud of Darkness and Gabranth LD. And he's also synergy on a Heretic event with Y'shtola LD and Burst, so the crappy version.
Mm-hmm. And then like I said, count his own Abyss because he powered through his. Yep. So I mean, it's going to be 3 big ones and a double extra points for Divine board synergy. Yeah. Nice. And just to not overlap with whatever Arrow and Mark have just said, the only thing I have to add is that GL firsts are always just extra options. No one should feel compelled to pull them. It's just there. Extra options are always good, and it's there if you want it. And as for the raging debate on both sides, the only thing I have to say is, I don't mind or care if people think he's a bad character or a good character, or they're yelling at each other about it, because ultimately that's in Square Enix's favor. The whole point of things like GL First is to generate discussion and interest.
Yep.
The fact that you have a character that's so divisive that the community has not shut up about it since he debuted is very, very good. What a successful campaign launch. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if people hate him or love him. The point is they're talking about him. The worst possible thing you could have when you release something to generate buzz is indifference, and there is no indifference here. People are at each other's throats on either side, and that's fine. Have at it, guys. Have your fun. The whole point, like, we host a podcast because it's just fun to talk about this stuff. But what I cannot stand are the small minority telling people that they can't have the opinions they have, and they should just shut up and be grateful for whatever Square Enix gives them. That is the worst take that I cannot abide by. Like, it's okay to have your opinion and even maybe shout your opinion, but to tell other people they can't have opinions, that is awful. So, even if you're tired of the whole debate, just let people have their fun and don't try to police community opinion. Like, what the heck is that, people? Potato Salad, any final thoughts?
Had to add to the conversation. I agree with Arrow that it's super unnecessary for anybody to attack Square Enix for this, or whoever really wanted Balthier. Let the people enjoy their favorite characters. It's just as simple as that. I personally have a wild theory where they knew this was going to happen. They knew people were going to have this wild buzz about Balthier, and that's why they just kind of dropped it in the middle, saying, "Oh yeah, by the way, you guys aren't going to have the total entropy dimensions and rewards like JP did." That everybody's kind of pushing that under the rug now. So I personally think that was a big conspiracy theory. That was well played for them, I think. Any thoughts?
Well, I think it's worked out in their favor, because what's happened, at least in what I see, there's been some Facebook and some Reddit and some Discord, not our Discord, but some other groups that are all really upset. He sucks. He's worthless. I mean, I've even heard, and this is a weird take, that he's not Lufania viable with his LD. Like, even with his LD, he won't be Lufania viable, which is the hottest of the hot takes. That's a terrible take. And so what's happened is a lot of our content creators in our community then have gone overboard, probably wouldn't have defended him and been like, oh, he's okay. No, he's, I think a lot of the buzz would have been, yeah, he's fine, but he's not a must have. Now, I mean, the buzz from the content creators is like, oh yeah, no, he's really good, and you should do this. And, don't skip him to get Paladin Cecil. Use them both together. They're best friends. If you get Paladin Cecil, you're definitely going to want Balthier. So, I mean, it's and it's good. It's good discussion, and I'm glad they're having it. But it's worked in SQEX's favor, because I think it's actually generated more hype than I would have expected from a character who looking at their kit without playing it, you're like, yeah, I think they're really good, but I don't think they're necessarily any better than anybody else. It's not even in terms of kind of our meta, a Gladio or a Lightning. I mean, he's not that kind of character that's gonna, just dominate everything. Definitely good, definitely useful, but now I think you're getting a little bit more hype, because I think some of the content creators especially are pushing back and saying, oh no, he's good, you really need to look at him, you really need to see what he can do. So yeah.
Let me grab that from you, Mark. Is an unnamed source, I think in another stream, said that it was 4D chess move by Square Enix to release this at the same time as them announcing that we wouldn't get the entropy reward bug. Just
no one's talking about that. Nobody's talking about that.
Nobody's talking about that because they're so busy arguing over Balthier. Oh, by the way,
I didn't even include it on the outline.
Yeah, you didn't even include. I was gonna say you didn't include it in the outline. That was the best chance to talk about it. So one of the announcements on the stream that we didn't talk about because Balthier is such a good smokescreen is that in JP when Tier 20 of Entropy launched. They reran the campaign. If you all if veterans remember from Tier 13 release, and there was a mistake, and the rewards for Tiers 1 through 13 were given again, in addition to 15 and 20. So, they understandably said that that's giving out too many rewards. That's not in the game's favor. So they announced that the GL will not be getting that, but will get a bonus reward as a compromise for Tier 18, which was very nice. Very nice. We shouldn't expect the most just us getting anything extra because of the mistake.
Right.
Feels really good. But no, I mean somebody said that Balthier was a smokescreen for that, and it seems to be working very, very well.
Well, and we did, in terms of the overall. I mean, we are getting the countdown to the third anniversary, so that's extra resources. And I mean, generally, the argument that GL doesn't get as much as we've talked about this, GL doesn't get as much as JP gets is completely false. We always get more than JP gets. We've documented it. We've always gotten more free multis. We've always gotten more free resources. We've always gotten quality of life sooner than JP got in the timeline. I mean, that's just the nature of the first version of the game versus the global version, or the specific regional version, the Japanese version of the game versus the global version of the game. That's just how it works. And so, yeah, I mean, you're always gonna come into that. So yeah, I think it's a fair compromise in terms of, yeah, that was a glitch. It wasn't supposed to happen. So instead of just giving double rewards, and how are we going to do that without just glitching the game again? Here's an additional Tier 18 reward. So that's fair. I didn't have any issues with that whatsoever. But yeah, no one's talking about it. That's for sure.
We definitely aren't. And it's funny because I kind of understand where they're coming from too. And I'm really happy they did not have to give us the extra reward on Tier 18. And I think that was very kind of them. Honestly, I'm a little surprised. Anyone who thought we were going to get the same treatment were out of their minds, honestly, in my opinion, because it was even said at the time in the JP version, it was a known bug. You should have known it would be fixed over here. Sort of like how other bugs with some of the other lost chapters or other bosses sometimes are fixed before they get over here to global. Sometimes they're not, but usually they are addressed or they're quickly dealt with in one way or another. So honestly, I never expected to get the rewards the second time around.
Well, we will talk more about Balthier, the leading man, in his supporting role next week, actually, as that comes up. And I have a special pull video planned for that as well. So look forward to that. That will be a little bit later. I know Black Cloud and maybe Necklord was on that, and Mino were talking about how quickly I get my pull videos out. Trade secret. But this next pull video probably will be a couple days coming because there's a collaboration there. So we also are getting weapon gloss. So if you're not familiar with weapon gloss, we already have weapon gloss, excuse me. So, weapon gloss is the ability you have to change weapons on your characters. We are now getting special purchasable weapon gloss, and the first one is the CAC gun. It is the golden CAC gun. It is literally just the golden quacktar. You can use it as a gun. So all your gun wielding characters, if you buy this, and what did we think about $7-8 is what these usually cost? They come with about 2,000 gems.
I double checked that. It's usually 15. It's equivalent to $15.
Okay, about $15. But once you
about
3,000 gems, once you buy that, that is able to be used as a gun weapon for all your gun wielding characters. Correct? That's how I understand that. Joshua's here as well. That's his favorite part of the stream. But that is now a feature that we're going to have. So there are going to be some special weapon glosses that are purchasable, so you can kind of customize. You can basically show how rich you are to other players. I'm always in favor of that. I would like some special badges, some status badges that we can purchase. Probably like $99.99. A couple $100. Just ones to really show that some of us have a lot more money than others of us. I always think that's well worth it. So I'm definitely my Belthier, as we're going to do lots of co-ops. I don't know if there's a co-op with the Abyss. I hope so, because my Belthier is going to have to be in his costume with his golden cactar gun. So that's like $60 right there, right, Mino? So yeah, that's and thanks Shalaster for those purchases. Appreciate that. So but yeah, I mean, so if that's something you're interested in, that's now an additional opportunity you have to support the game. I know some people think they're kind of silly. It is kind of silly. You're going to be wielding a cactus. But I think it's kind of ridiculous enough that I may have to buy it. So we'll see. If it wasn't Belthier, if it was like some random sword or something silly, I probably wouldn't. But if they give Kistis like the Marlboro whip, then yeah, I'm gonna be, I'm done. Or or like a Lulu gets like the Tonberry or if there's any Tonberry glosses, they should just do that. We should just do. There's not been Tonberries in this game, is there?
No,
have we ever fought a Tonberry?
No,
not yet.
Not yet.
SQEX Joshua, I know you're with us tonight. Yeah, what's the deal with that? Where are the Tonberries?
They're in the works.
Yeah, let's get
Data
some.
mined in JP.
That should have been. So this is a 4th anniversary question, people. Where are the Tonberries? So next time we can ask Jin a question. Let's make sure where are the Tonberries. So I've always liked the enemies in this game, but yeah, definitely we're missing Tonberries.
Thank you, Square Enix, for putting the TCC logo into the
Yes.
game, but not giving the Tonberry Troupe any recognition.
Yeah,
We
no,
know
screw
you
them.
side with us
We
in
did.
this-
We already said I love the TCC logo right there next to my name. Really looks sharp. Appreciate that. So really good call. I mean, free advertising's free advertising. Yeah, I mean, Josepher, Lids, Broadway Saiyan, Resfoina, Jin Lee, they didn't get this. Fireside Chat doesn't have a badge. That's all I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So we have one. They don't. It's fine. I'm not saying anybody's favorites, but it is what it is. Ramza also has this costume. If you haven't had a chance to buy that, it is his, I guess they call it the Squire costume. So he wears armor and he's not in his little thingy there. So I have it for some reason. I'm not sure. It's equipped on my Ramza. It's just it was during the era that I bought all the costumes because that was one way to support the game. I'm a little less likely to buy all the costumes because of the Moogle passes and stuff. So, and I buy the premium Moogle pass. I'm not, with that.
Speaking of which, I wanted to throw it around the table for the opinions on the weapon gloss. Actually, no, never mind. I said I was going to not say anything negative today. So I will just say that for me personally, I think these are going to be the first cosmetics I'm skipping on.
Nibelung says the standard skin is the Squire costume. The premium skin is the mercenary armor. Thank you, Nibelung. Yes. Yeah, it's been a little while since I've played Tactics. So,
all right, but PoteauCedar, what do you think about weapon glosses, or at least this one in particular?
Enjoy how silly it is. I personally will not buy it. Just I'm up for trying my best to be free to play as much as I can, but. Yeah, I'm. It's silly. I can understand the appeal towards it, but for $15, that's kind of steep for a weapon gloss, in my opinion. What's your opinions, Arrow?
I hate this weapon gloss. I'll be the negative Nancy. and Mino's place today. So I pretty much have hated every weapon gloss released to date in JP, and I hate this one too. The only one I've ever liked was that little sunflower rod one. That one's kind of cute, and it kind of works on pretty much all the characters in a silly way. So that one's cool. But the other ones, no, they're just awful. I hate all of them. They're just, look, I would like it if they were just, they could be on like the weirder side. These things are just so darn goofy, and it just looks so out of place every time I pretty much see any of them. So it's just, for me, no. I think I hated this one the most out of all of them, and that's saying something, because I thought the fan was pretty bad too. And I saw like Vincent wielding it, and I was just like, that thing looks like so weird. Like when like the bullets are coming out of the head, it just doesn't look right. Like on a lot of the animations, like they don't even hold it. Just look, I don't know, the way they hold it, the way it just kind of looks, the way it like meshes with the game environment. It just, none of it works for me. And it's not even like I'm against funny things. They just literally look out of place to me in this game, and I don't like it. So personally, I'm gonna pass. At least they give you some gems, I guess, if you like the weapon skin.
10% more gems during the anniversary. Yes, we get additional gems for everything you purchase. You will get a bonus to your gems. So, but yeah, I'm in favor of more of this. I'm in favor of more costumes. I want Christmas costumes. I mean, I think a missed opportunity, X-Death with a Christmas tree weapon gloss. That would have been great. Or X-Death with a Christmas tree costume. Santa Claus X-Death with a Christmas tree weapon. I mean, you wouldn't spend $65 on that. I would. Mino would. I mean, we would. I mean, you're missing. Would. Yeah, you're missing. It's just missing money. Swimsuit versions. Like, who doesn't want Gladio swimsuit? Everybody would buy Gladio swimsuit. I mean, the straightest person on earth is buying Gladio swimsuit. That's all I'm saying. It's just money in the bank for SQEX.
Yeah, to clarify, and I'm going to answer some things in chat as well. To clarify for chat, it's not that I'm against weapon glosses. It's just that the weapon glosses in DFFOO have leaned towards silly, which is fine, But I'm just saying, personally, if they maybe did like ultimate weapons for characters as weapon glosses, I would maybe buy that. But maybe they're saving those for actual weapons you gem pull with. Gem pulling's probably like, getting people to buy gems and pulling is probably more money than these cosmetics, right? So never mind. Yeah, the cosmetics are always extra and fine. The Emerald Bard brought up that if you equip the Cactar gun on Balthier, it looks like he's investigating the backside of the Cactar very intensely before he shoots.
Well,
so,
you got you don't want a stray cactus to shoot you in the eyes, so you got to check it over once or twice. Definitely.
And oh shoot, there was another question here that I've lost track of. So we can just continue on for now.
Yeah, we should probably talk about the content and there's only really one thing going on today, but you'll put your eye out, Balthier. Yeah, watch out where you're sticking that thing. And that is Divine Diabolos. And Divine Diabolos has given us level 80 awakenings for the following characters: Ramza, Machina, Freya, Pain, Maria, and Ida. It's also given Ramza a rework LD and BT and Machina's LD boards. Of course, Ramza also has LD boards and LD pulls. And of course, this has given us illusion boards, divine boards, more board grinding. We'll talk about that first. But let's start with Ramza. If I pull it up here. So Ramza, just to give you a brief overview if you're not familiar with his kit, he's one of our original supporters, providing auras and generic buffs to the party, increasing attack, max brave, int brave, eye brave, overflow, and gives you brave regen. He batteries the party with his rework, and LDBT is able to heal and now provides a launch. He has 2 frame buffs and provides 2 generic buffs for the party, and has a new overhead buff. When his frame buffs reach 3 stacks, he unlocks upgraded Brave+++ and HP+++, both which give free turns or free turn actions. Ramza's EX gives your enemies a frame debuff that lowers attack, defense, and speed. Overall, he's been a solid part of the DiFFOO roster since the early 35-only era, and he is now fully viable in Lufania content. So just to give you a brief overview of what his rework was, it's very simple. Shout, his skill 1, gets an instant break effect, which is really cool as just his normal skill 1. So it instantly breaks regardless of what your enemy brave is. He gets 3 brave hits now with this and more overflow. Galvanize, which is his skill 2, now heals the party 20% of max HP. There's kind of 2 effects that work with the healing, but it ends up, I believe, being about 20% of your max HP that can be healed. So it's not a huge heal, but it is a heal, which he did not have before. His LD is a big fat AoE attack, area of effect attack, batteries the party, delays the enemy 1 turn, and launches. So, of course, it's one of those, just like Dark Knight Cecil's LD, that sets you up for a launch. Batteries, launches, delays. It does everything you want for a launch. Plus, more importantly, once you hit the LD, he only has 3 uses of it. Once you hit the LD, it grants you the overhead buff, Sunset Grass Whistle, for 16 turns. It's not a stacking buff, so you don't have to build stacks of it. It's just 16 turn buff. You have to press the LD to get it, unlike Belthier, who's going to start with that buff overhead. But it is a 16 turn duration, so you need to use the LDs throughout the fight to space it out. And that gives the party additional support. If you look at the TonberryTroupe.com, it gives you the full stats in terms of what his boosts are, but that adds to them. His BT is, again, a big attack, Ultima, beautiful animation, but it's a 5-turn BT effect, which is nice, which is attack, iBrave, and max brave, up, and brave damage limit boost based on total party auras. So all of the boosts from the BT effect are based on the total number of party auras, up to, I think it's, 18, right? I think it goes up to 18 full, so it's full buffs. So it can go up to having 6 buffs on every single character, which is pretty nice. So pretty significant buffs if you have a character fully buffed. So I have Ramza. I have his full kit. I like it. I've liked Ramza. The free, he does get the free turn on his HP plus. That's always been nice. This launch delay mechanic with the additional overhead buff is nice. Gives some additional auras, some additional bravery gen, some additional overflow. All in all, I mean, he's viable for this era. He's going to be a nice support option. It's nice that he has a little bit of healing so that you can pair him with some healing LD calls if you don't want a primary healer, or some, minor HP regen, so, you're not having a burst healer. All in all, I've been happy with him. He makes board grinding a hell of a lot easier. So for that alone, for the fact that he's a 2-week synergy character and he is a divine board character, and divine boards we're going to talk about in a second, you don't need to have all kinds of different characters. You just need one synergy team to grind it out. He's going to make that a lot easier. So I definitely think he is a worthy investment for his LD. But that's how it goes. Arrow, what are your thoughts on Ramza, who I don't think you pulled?
I did not pull for Ramza because I didn't use him a lot in EX Plus era. I like him as a character, but honestly, my biggest worry is I know Brave Gain Reduction is coming, and I just don't know how good Ramza's going to be in that environment, because he's very, very reliant on regions to pretty much pump out the numbers he does. I know that's not good to look into the future too much, but this literally is coming next month. So this is kind of one of my worries. Anyway, I think he's good. I've been using the friend ones for the divine grind, which has been more than enough with my team, which we are going to talk more about divine summons anyway in a moment. I think the rework's solid. He has a lot of utility now. He always has been a very good party buffer in general. The utilities are very nice. The new Insta Break is super dope. And he has a lot of ways to keep his shout buff on anyway, between the LD now and the EX, extending the length of that. So you're probably never going to lose your third level stacks anymore. Like you never should have really been ever since EX Plus, but now it's even easier to maintain them. I think just overall it's a lot easier to maintain his buffs. Do I highly recommend him? I mean, if you like 2 weeks synergy, yeah. I mean, every 2 weeks synergy is great for their 2 weeks at the very least, and that can be worth it for some players. It was very dirty, by the way, of SQEX, in my opinion, to put this banner and not give us a free multi just because it's right before the anniversary. Very cheeky, guys, and very smart, by the way. Because what is it? Like, you're going to possibly pull that BT on those free banners because we're going to have Guy and we're going to have Bout the Year first, and then we're going to have Kai's Lost Chapter and Guy's event as a chance to potentially pull the BT for free.
Yeah,
and
we
then
will
we're
have
gonna
free
have
polls.
to
I
go
did not mention
back
that.
and pull the LD. We were just talking about how, like, oh, I got this unit I wasn't expecting, and then they have you investing in something you weren't really planning in the first place. Very cheeky, very smart as SQEX. And do I have any other thoughts? You kind of hit on most of the main points. I think he's a good utility character if you want to try out, if you haven't ever really tried out regen teams. Ramza's an excellent addition to any of those strategies, and he will pair very well with any of these other members coming out during his cycle. He will pair very well with them as well.
Yeah, Cedar, any thoughts on Ramza? Did you pull Ramza? What do you think?
Pulled for Ramza. I happily went to 200 G tokens to get his LD. I do not have his BT, but I'm really enjoying his kit. I've always really liked that, especially that frame debuff he gets from his EX. It's very potent. My only complaint is that his buffs are all generic that he grants to the party. But he's almost like a Swiss Army knife. He batteries, he gives buffs. Now he launches. Now he heals on his skill 2. He also heals with his Brave Attack Plus variants. I think he's going to be an amazing character. I have no regrets pulling him myself. I think I'm going to try to use him as much as I can. But here, I'm hoping to personally get the BT within the free polls. What's your take, Mino?
Ramza's always surprisingly been one of the supports that I've really liked. I remember I've used him every tuning pass, and his primary gimmick is reducing the amount of turns it takes to finish a fight. I remember there's always been a handful of fights where I'm like, oh, I'm over the turn limit. Let me just bring Ramza. With he's always had the free turns, and he's always had the regen memes, and regen memes are always hilarious. Now he gets delay and launch with a battery, which is, of course, more off-turn damage. He's got the instant break now, which is more delays, and even healing as well. They gave him a lot. And his BT effect is just really, really fun to play with. You can get up to 90% boost to your stats, depending on how many buffs you stack. That's really fun to play around with.
Yeah, and Brave cap up to close to 14,000.
Yeah, it's like 13 something. It's fun character. I'm out of practice, so I'm not taking the negative character spin tonight. And plus, here representing Kreese. But yeah, it's just very fun. Like, his whole thing is reducing the amount of turns it takes. And you can see that with this event. Almost everyone got caught off guard on the turn count here. 60 on the Lufania. I know so many people who finished it first time, then missed the turn count and was shocked. Because turn count hasn't been an issue in a long, long time. And like Ramza's whole gimmick is to reduce your turns. So, with that though, fun character. For some reason, I just really like it. I'm not a big fan of a lot of support / aura bots, but they gave Ramza a lot of mechanics. Like I said, delay launch, insta break, and that buff stacking thing too, and just 2 weapons. They gave him a lot. Galvanize still feels weird in this era without a follow-up Brave Dump.
HP Brave Dump,
Yeah, but I mean, I guess it's still a good defensive tool. I've definitely used it like that in the short time I've been messing with him, but it really does feel weird that such a turn-efficient character has a move that just batteries, basically.
Hey, just a quick question. Isn't it when he's at 3 stacks of Galvanize, he casts that skill for free, though, as a free turn action? I don't remember offhand. Do you know?
It has potential turn rate up, I believe. I don't know that it's ever a free action.
I know turn rate up. I don't know about.
I don't know if it's ever a free action, but definitely it can trigger turn rate up. SQEX Joshua says breaking with Shout is so satisfying, and I mean, we talked about it with Strago, with some other characters who have that insta break effect. That can come in really handy. I mean, that shouldn't be an underrated ability that Ramzana has, the ability to press skill 1, Shout, and instantly break. Oh, the boss is at 99,999 brave, instant break. They have huge, reduction, instant break. I mean, that's a big deal. I don't know if Black Cloud is still with us. He was in chat, but I think the hot take for this is why pull Ramza when Balthier comes out next week and does a lot of the same thing. I'm joking. Like they do very different things, obviously, and they would work well together potentially. So there's no reason to think that. But I mean, they are both characters that I've always in the early stages of the game, and we've said this throughout the show's history, that there's always room for more support characters. There's always room for more tanks. There's always room for more healers. The damage dealers tend to be a dime a dozen. There usually is a steady income of damage dealers. Sometimes, yes, there's a few really good supports next to each other, or a couple good healers next to each other, or a couple tanks. That's usually, the tanks are pretty well spread out. But yeah, every once in a while you have kind of a era where in a month or two there's a few good supports. But then there's kind of a long string sometimes without those good supports. So I'm always a fan of getting the supports and picking them up, and you can build teams around them pretty well. So,
Josh is confirming, yes, Brave Plus and HP Plus are the only ones that don't add to turn count. Which, that's what I was pretty sure of. So, Arrow, be careful about the galvanizing and expecting a free turn that might kill your.
Don't do that.
Oh wait, no, you didn't pull Ramza, so you're fine.
Yeah,
but. Sorry, Mark, but
Arrow hates having fun, so she didn't pull.
Of course, I know. But At Pocket Jokers brings up a great point that I didn't think we would talk about on this episode. But he's saying everyone's talking about the impending Brave gain reduction coming up, and I feel like just like Brave damage reduction, it is being hyped up as this boogeyman, and when it comes, it won't be such a big deal. I think that's exactly right. Just like we said when the Brave damage reduction came, it's basically just an iteration of power creep. Basically, it's an artificial increase of the cap so that you can buff it even harder. So like when we said the Brave damage cap came, it just means that characters that hit harder won't be capping all the time. It kind of widens the gap. It kind of gives you more room to hit it, and it's going to be the same thing with batteries too. Like, batteries going to get hit, but it also means you're more rewarded for buffing batteries like Kieran plus Ramza, and all of a sudden, your batteries and iBrave are amazing without leaking constantly, and that's why there's the whole Furion and Rude thing. It's all about reducing the leakage and more efficient. So everyone should just stop worrying about the reductions coming up and just play around good team building and enhancing the strengths of your team.
But definitely worry about armor token shortages. So moving on to, I have to give you a hard time. They were giving you a hard time for having, I think you had 200 high armor tokens on stream. So they were giving you a hard time about hoarding. Yeah, I went to buy Ramza's high armor and I had 260 tokens. So I haven't obviously bought any high armors, Lufania armors. So Machina, let me get into my Machina analysis. Machina is a melee damage dealer. That's who he is. That's what he does. He does damage with he's got like a lance thing that he pokes people with. He's kind of a dick. He's a hero. He's a hero. But he brings damage. He's known for being fast. He gets consecutive turns. He definitely gets a viability boost with his LD boards. He, of course, was one of our earlier LD characters. One of, I think, maybe 3 LDs I don't have, so I don't like him. But it means he's probably trash if I don't have him. No, but he definitely gets an update. His LD boards provide additional attack, double brave dumps. And that really does help a lot more. I need to use the restroom because I'm going to pee my pants. So Arrow, who has him and enjoys him a lot, is going to walk you through the finer points of Machina gameplay while I'm gone for a minute.
So while he is out, I'm going to start off. You guys all made fun of me for not wanting to have fun because I didn't build Ramza, but I did build this guy who is to me just about as fun. So possibly even more. Anyway, I pulled on the initial LD release, guys. So I've been waiting for this. The LD before it was an instant turn skill. It inflicts a special debuff called Spiral's Linchpin, I believe. Anyway, so whenever Machina attacks a target with that debuff, he would follow up with AoE split damage. Like he would do a brave hits on all the targets and do split damage on that. Well, LD boards are basically like quality of life for these older LDs. So now the LD, when you use it, will apply the debuff at the start of the attack. So, and he also now does 2 HP dumps on the skill. So, yay, the little spinning blades are going spin to win now. Anyway, so now because the debuff is applied at the start, you get the follow-up right afterwards. So that's even more damage. So even better, the more the more stuff he has to hit, the better, because he's going to do better damage. So, oh yeah, the other thing is he got better potencies on the boards. So now he has like, he does more brave damage when he attacks a target. And the other thing is that he gains a bit more brave now when he does follow up as well. So he's got all this like brave gain and brave refund going on, and he's very, very fun. Pretty much the same as always. If you didn't like the style before, it has not changed. He did not get a rework here. So just keep that in mind. Also, about the call, since this is very important, always use the LD call first so you can inflict the debuff. So then afterwards, when you use the base call, you'll get the follow-up attack from Machina. Now, the cool thing about this call, both the calls, if you decide to use them back-to-back, is you will gain a lot of attack and a lot of brave damage potencies. This is great for if you have certain characters you want to hit harder with while they're in burst mode, especially. There might be some other characters who could definitely take easy advantage of this for the few turns you'd have the LD call ability. But otherwise, yeah, you're probably bringing this because you want to super power up a unit for a couple turns. You want to use it for burst character. Ramza possibly is a good choice. And that's pretty much it. He didn't change much. I'm going to go and pass it off to Mino and see if he has any thoughts about Machina and his new LD boards.
I've got nothing nice to say, so I won't say anything at all. Oh, no, I got something to say. What kind of dick fights with drills? Not just one drill, but 2 drills, too. Like slashing someone with a drill. That's not how you use a drill. That's like throwing your sword. Wait, do we have any characters that throws their swords? Oh, right, Noctis. Okay. Well, Noctis aside, what kind of dick fights with a drill? Drills are not a weapon. They're only there to. Huh?
Edgar, he has a drill. He even has an EX skill called drill, I think.
Yeah, he's a dick too. I mean,
drills
are only there to inflict pain. Like they're not there for an efficient kill. Like you're not like cutting or slashing or whatever. You're piercing them and then making the metal spin into their flesh. Like that's a real dick move. But like Mark said,
unlike cactus guns, which are there just to have a good time.
Machina is just a massive dick. but yeah, no, Edgar's a dick too. He fleeced his brother out of a kingdom and a throne.
He did.
So,
yeah, he's not a great guy.
PoteauCedar, what do you think about Machina?
I first off want to thank Arrow because I remember listening to the podcast and hearing how much fun she initially had with Machina. And at the time I just attempted like 10 tickets. I wasn't really worrying about it. And then I was like, oh, you know what? Let me try this dude out. And I pulled his LD back when his last chapter, and I'm honestly really enjoying his kit. His LD boards, I feel like really pushed him up, especially with that debuff. His LD call, I feel like feels super satisfying, getting those high. I know it's in synergy, but getting those high numbers during the divine summon boards, I'm just really satisfied with him personally. Thoughts, gentlemen?
Sorry, let me grab it back really quick. First, I need to address Emerald Bard, who said Edgar tricked Sabin with a heart of gold. Remember, Sabin originally didn't want the throne, blah, blah, blah. Look, Sabin is probably mentally deficient. He's eating ghost food and jumping off of trains. I don't think that would hold up in a court of law. But also, I did remember something I do enjoy about Machina. Brave Refund is a very fun mechanic anytime it's anywhere. And also, the follow-up debuff is a very fun mechanic. I've said before that it was such a mistake to put it on such a slow character like Beatrix. The debuff follow-ups that she can barely take advantage of, and you get quote-unquote 6 turns of it, but it's more like 3 or less. Whereas Machina, it says 4 turns or something, but it feels like 20. So Machina has some fun mechanics. Brave Refund and the debuff follow-up are very, very, very fun. But Mark, any final thoughts?
Well, let me just look at the podcast polls and see how people were polling. So thank you to Quetzalma of MateriaBot, and you can check out MateriaBot if you have a Discord server and be part of the podcast polls or the global poll. So on 11 servers, we had 3, this is on the Ramza banner, 3 willing to pity the burst, 36 willing to pity the LD, myself included, with gems. 7 using gems, 68 using tickets, and 7 skipping. And on the Machina banner, again, we already had Machina's LD, so these numbers are going to be much less. 1 willing to pity Machina's LD, 2 using gems, 17 tickets, and 78 skipping. No one going for the BT on Machina's banner. Now, with Ramza, we are going to have several opportunities to get his burst weapon over the course of, I think, 5 different LDs, so 5 different banners. So if you didn't miss it, although we're going to talk about the fight here in a second, I have Ramza's burst, and I did not use his burst in this Lufania. I used someone else's burst. So the support bursts are they are what they are. Definitely in challenge quests and other fights when you're not going to bring somebody else with a burst. But, I think generally speaking, your damage dealer bursts are going to take priority. But, it depends. If you can get good use out of the effect compared to the base damage in a damage dealing burst, you'll figure out ways to use it. So, Evil Calling, what's a good team for this Lufania? Hold on to your seats. We're going to get there in just a minute. We'll talk all about this Lufania, but before we do, we need to talk about divine boards and illusion points. Woohoo! And how much synergy bias sucks, and we'll talk about that. So this is a new type of board grinding experience, whereas the previous 10 ultimate boards, you've had to bring all of your characters and level them up to get each of their treasures and master all their boards, or generate wild points to help master boards in the future. You don't have to do that anymore. You have to actually grind boards for the summon itself. And there are 30 different boards or 30 different levels of the board for each of these divine or each of these illusion points, I think they call them, for the divine board. So Diabolos is the only one we have right now. And you need to get a total, I think, of 75,000 points. It's 7,500 points per... oh no, it must be more than that, because it's 7,500 points per tier, and it's 30 points. So how many points total? It's a lot.
7,500 per tier. No, 7,500 per tier, 225k for the whole thing.
Yeah, so we figured it out. If you have the Mog Pass, so if you're max rank, right, that plays into it somehow, or no, that was just for regular boards. What are the modifiers for the point system? So,
okay, here you go.
Yeah.
So there's the base total that is increased by 1 per synergy character. So like 3 synergy characters means times 4, right? Or 2
Right.
synergy characters means times 3. So it's times 4. Then with rank points in there, shoot, we never experimented that. We just know that at current max rank, if you're over 1,000, you're getting
Yeah.
you know. So we'll come back with that information if Potty or Arrow can look that up while I rant. And then the Mog Pass takes all of that and then doubles it.
So obviously the Mog Pass has an additional, additional use here. So it's about 3. We figured, if you have the synergy characters to do it, it's about 3.5 to 4 hours of gameplay to run through it. With everything, with fully ranked, with Mog Pass, with 3 synergy characters. If you don't have the Mog Pass, you're talking, and you have full synergy and a good full synergy team, or at least 2 good full synergy characters, it's going to be probably 8 hours of your life. So it's going to take some time. For me, it's about 3,000 points a run. So somebody asked how many points per run. For me, with everything, I have the Mog Pass, 3 synergy characters, 3,000 points per run. So that's what we're getting.
There's a lot of debate in chat, but I think this is CSDX is saying Mog Pass isn't double, it's 150%. But HaateXIII is saying, as somebody without Mog Pass, I'm getting 1.5k per run, which checks out. I'm pretty sure we did the research on this, and Mog Pass is double everything at the end. And also, there's several people in chat, I forgot to bring this up, but I was going to do it later, is that it caps at 99,999. You need 225k. And there's multiple people highlighting this message, which just tells guys hoarding is a disease. Why are you grinding up to 99,999 without spending your points? What is wrong with you people? Like, the fact that this has to be a warning is hilarious to me. Guys, spend your points as you get them. Spend them regularly, please. That's crazy talk. But sorry, Mark.
Yeah, I think there's some confusion because it may say. It says in one place, just kind of as a blanket statement, Mog Pass gives 150% to board grinding. But then I think somewhere else it says double for illusion points.
Yes, it's 150 for ultimate boards, CSDX. I think that's what you're getting confused with, because a lot of people are checking the in-game notice now. It's 150% for ultimate boards. For divine boards, it's double.
But I think there may be I think here if we just look on the screen here, if you go into Mog Pass, so it says 150% bonus to enhancement points, summon points, wild points, and illusion points obtained. So that would not be double. But then if you go to the in-game notice under, where is it? Is it under World of Illusion Divine Diabolos? Where it says Mog points?
Where's Josh? Isn't he still in here? Can't he just confirm? I mean, I'm pretty damn sure it's double.
I think the grind is it's good on one end, but boring on another. I'm just going to recommend to you guys, just go and watch some shows while you just casually grind, honestly.
Yeah, I think I saw the double here. I'd have to look. It's huge in terms of the.
I have the Mog Pass, and it does ×4 at the end. So I'm assuming the ×2 is because I'm using a full synergy team, right? So then it's doubling that amount at the end, I guess.
Yeah, it doubles it at the end. So it's it's +1 multiplier per synergy, and then doubles at the end. CSDX is going to divine area, and it shows how it's calculated. 4x is for the synergy. Yeah, 4x is for the synergy. Anyways, while Mark looks that up, I'll move this forward a bit. Where did we leave off? Oh, right. Okay, I'll just go on a long rant about synergy bias. So I didn't expect this going into the divine board grind, because I think we've only heard good things on the JP end. But coming into this event, there's a lot of chatter about how tough this grind can be, even the Lufania and the challenge quest in terms of synergy bias. And looking at it, it makes a lot of sense, because if we're talking, people compare it to ultimate boards, but with ultimate boards, you've got books that can double or triple the speed. You can carry a lot of people through very fast. The fights are under a minute or two for sure. You can just call in a strong friend unit and nuke it to death too. And then you've got super synergy and the Moogle pass as well, and rank having even a bigger effect. Like, the grind can go really fast, and you don't really need any units specifically for it. But a lot of people are finding this grind a little harder if they don't have, say, Ramza LD or Machina LD. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah,
Mark.
no, you know what? Part of the issue is ultimate boards were level 100. This is level 150, right? This is a Cosmos fight.
Yes.
As opposed to a just an EX fight or a level 100.
Yeah, Blank is saying, the fights used to last approximately 2 seraphic stars. Correct. We used to be able to calculate that. And no, but I'm not just saying the length of the fight, but I'm saying how you need to, for the best effect, and this isn't a difficulty thing, but it's just like in chat, some people are saying, oh, I finished in a day, or Mark was saying, it could be finished in 3 to 4 hours. But there are also people who said it took them over 10 hours plus, or even more, if they don't have 3 strong synergy characters invested in it that they could run, and they don't have the right friend unit up, or they don't have Mog Pass. There's a good amount of people out there still not having Mog Pass, like HaateXIII and Myther. Yeah, it does suck, because for ultimate boards, books are free resources to speed things up, right? They took that out of this. The Mog Pass multiplier is even bigger, and it's only a paid-for multiplier. And again, you only have about 6 synergy characters to farm with. You might not want to invest in these 6, and also some are better than others for sure. Like everyone's saying. I know Clay was saying he optimized his runs to be under 2 minutes, and it was Ramza LD, Machina LD, and friend Ramza LDs, and he got it down very fast. And everyone who's grinding it that fast have both LDs, but it really, and Ramza's he's a popular character, he's a strong character, but as we were saying, for future divine boards, you might not want all of these big farmers and big synergy farmers. So just wanted a small reminder that yes, this is another step towards more synergy bias. It is not necessarily a bad thing. It is just something to be aware of. And the only is call out synergy bias when it comes up is because those who miss out on the synergy bias should not feel less than, right? Like, if you're struggling with the challenge quest because you didn't pull Machina or Ramza LD, but other people are saying, oh, it was a blast, did it with my eyes closed, do not feel less than, because the synergy bias is ramping up. It is not your fault technically. And that's just one of the dangers of these divine board farms, is that unless you have a decked out team of 3 synergies and possibly the featured LD, your grind will be significantly slower than even ultimate boards, let alone other people. So don't kill yourself. I think I see a lot of people saying, there's a lot of support going around the community saying just because people are finishing in under 4 hours doesn't mean you have to kill yourself to get this done in a day or two. You have 2 weeks. Pace yourself, space it out. I think someone calculated it. You could do 7-8 runs. Oh, but that's with Mog Pass and everything too. 7-8 runs with
Mog Pass.
Yeah, 7-8 runs a day, but that's with Mog Pass. So you take out Mog Pass, 14 to 16 runs a day. But if you're missing a synergy, then double that again. Oh my God, that's actually pretty bad. That's
so I have the screen up. So. With my current rank, which is 1016, all my characters are max level. That's 50%, plus the Moogle Pass is 150%, so that's a total of 200%. So rank plus Moogle Pass is 200%, and that gives you the 750. So normally it's half that. It's
Okay,
$325.
Got it.
So normally, or $375. Normally it's half of that, and then it's times 4 after the synergy bonus, which is times 4 for all 3 characters. That comes after those points are totaled. So the Mog Pass isn't before. It's not after the times 4. It's before that. I guess technically.
Okay,
matter.
you win CSDX. My apologies. We were all wrong. You were right. The rank plus the Mog Pass is what's making it times 2. Got it.
Skip. So what we're saying, skip the avocado toast.
I'm not saying that.
That's the meme. That's the meme. Stop wasting your money, millennials. And buy the Moogle Pass. No. But obviously a lot easier, and it's going to be easier with Super Synergy, but I don't think at the end of the day do you have to kill yourself to do it. This is permanent content. If you don't have the Mog Pass, you don't have the time to do it. Take your time, enjoy the game. Don't drive yourself crazy. And if you are on the more casual end of the spectrum of gameplay, that's okay. Don't kill yourself to get everything done as soon as it's out. Like, we do that because we create content for the game. And so it is what it is, right? So, I mean, there's a reason we do that. If you want to enjoy the game, playing it more casually, not beating all of the fights, this CQ is challenging if you didn't pull the characters. This Lufania is challenging. It's actually fairly limited. We're going to talk about it here in a minute. I mean, you gotta be the same, and the same with the same with the boards. 10, 12 hours is a lot more of an investment than 3 or 4 over the course of 2 weeks. So you can see I'm already halfway through my boards, and I've not really played that much. But I have the Moogle Pass. I am max rank. And I have 3 synergy characters. Obviously, I was using Yida. I do not have Machina LD. So Ida and Ramza with friend Ramza or friend Kuja or friend Cloud are doing, or friend Amitatillion, although that's not ideal, are doing fine. So
the silver lining is that you only need the first 10 boards for to max Diabolos, and the rest is pure resources. So you can take your time. You're not missing out on anything. Yep. Oh, you're missing out on a few tickets of the time, but that's whatever, guys. Like, just view it as a bonus. It is pure resources. So it's like over the weeks and months, whatever you do is just adding resources. And also Super Synergy for Divine Boards comes back with chapter releases and the featured chapter character. So it does come back rarely, like every other month or so, but don't kill yourself. Pooty, do you have any opinions on the Divine Board grind?
I'm personally enjoying it myself. I find it easier than just the regular summon board grinding. It's I have Ramza LD, I have Machina LD, so it is easier on my end. I will just add real quick that there might not be much credibility to this one, but I did find a rank calculator online. Around every 20 ranks, it increases your Moogle, the rank bonus by 1% for the total divine points. If it's true or not, no, I'm not finding much credibility on it, but it's at least something to go by.
Yeah, Phelan is
Arrow.
I was going to say, Phelan is saying, we're sugarcoating ultimate summons a bit. They were a huge grind before Mog Pass, before rank quality of life, and before 3 times books. I mean, some of those early tanky Leviathan, I think, some of them took a long, long time, especially if you wanted to master. I think the difference was you didn't have to master all of them. There wasn't like you have to complete it. This is the difference between the ultimates are you did not have to master all the characters, and most of us didn't master all the characters because it was a huge, huge investment. you had to master 10 to get the limited time reward. So 6, yeah. So I mean that is a lot different. But they were grindy. So let's not, if you wanted to do it all, it was a long grind, and some of the fights took a long time. I'm very impressed that Cedar is completely unfazed by Mino's verbal assault, just completely, completely unfazed. But there is co-op for this, and refined spheres. Maria's sphere is excellent. Machina's sphere is very good. So you can check out DissidiaFFOO.com. Has a wonderful sphere guide that kind of goes through all these refined spheres, when they come back, how good they are. So Macno, our friend, sets that up with somebody else does that, I think, from Reddit. And so they share that resource, and that's on DissidiaFFOO.com. But check out, I know Machina's is pretty nice. They're all pretty good, but Maria, you probably want to pick up a few of them as well. Challenge Quest Lufania. So let's walk through the ultimate fight. We're going long tonight, so we'll probably not go into questions or anything, but just to go over just briefly what the fight is about. Obviously, you fight Blue Diabolos. So that's the fight. It is an ultimate fight, and there is synergy. So everyone's boosted. That is nice. Lufania Orb starts at the fight. You get plus 15 when you give 6 buffs to the party in one turn, like Ramza does when you hit Galvanize. It comes back, I think, at 49%. So disappears from about 79 to 49, comes back, stays for the rest of the fight. Pretty easy if you have Ramza or you have another good. I think Beatrix does it too. There's a couple other characters that give Afma, give those, party buffs. Good, give 6 party buffs. Other mechanics is his Dark Energy, which is a mode he goes into. You need to launch and do in Lufania 20,000 damage. Until you do that, Ultimate Diabolos, or Divine Diabolos, absorbs all elements and is immune to debuffs. He also cleanses debuffs during this. And if you don't break him and cleanse that, do the launch, his attacks are much more powerful. You launch, do 20,000 damage. He becomes much weaker, but he does
200,000. That's a typo.
Oh, 200,000. Excuse me. Yes, it's not 20,000. Yes, 200,000. Which with Ramza is super easy. Even with Cloud is fairly easy to do 200,000 in a launch. But he does not lose the absorb or the immunity until he attacks with Color Dark, which is a single target attack. And he will not do that if his recast ability is up. So even if he's in the Dark Energy and his recast ability is up, he'll do the recast first, and then he will do Color Dark, and so he will stare that. The biggest, and the recast ability, if you allow it to happen, obviously if you let the orb fly, you're dead. But if you allow him to do his recast ability when he is powered up, you're most likely dead as well. The big issue with this fight is you have to complete it in 60 turns to get the perfect or the complete. So team building is limited. Ramza, obviously, he gets free turns. Machina as well has those mechanics. Ramza launches, Ramza delays, Ramza gives. So this is literally a Lufania tailored around Ramza. If you don't have Ramza, it is infinitely more hard. I think Mino and I use the same team. Ramza LD, Cloud LD, and Warrior of Light. Or did you use Machina? Mino?
Yeah, I used Warrior of Light. Yeah, it's super safe.
That's a super safe team. You can use double Immediatillion. If you don't have Ramza, if you're one of those crazy people that didn't pull Ramza, you have an option with Lightning. It's a little bit more challenging. I don't think I would suggest that. There are some Cloud runs and there are some Noctis runs. So again, you're not going to want to bring a lot of characters that do elemental damage, and you're going to have to be careful in your summon phase because it absorbs all elements. And so there are some fairly flexible runs, and I'll give it over to Arrow because I know Arrow did a run without Ramza. And so how did you approach that, Arrow?
Oh, man. Yeah. So I had played around with a bunch of stuff before I got to my winning team. So my winning team was actually Machina, Furion, and Cloud. So I know you guys are wondering, and I did explain this in my video, how did I get around the orb? I brought calls. I brought Beatrix call and I brought Ramza's call because it gives you 6 party buffs. And I had a Ramza friend. So that was another 6 party buffs the moment he jumped into the field. Bam. Orb taken care of. Yeah. I don't like this fight because those 60 turns, when you don't have, I don't know. Okay, so Diabolos, when he goes into that Dark Energies form, there's certain parts where he just doesn't take damage for ding-dongs. Like, it is wild. So you really do need those regions and those, like, the battery into launches. Yeah. They're really emphasizing that. They really were selling Ramza hard on this fight. And they brought Machina in because he has the Bravery Fund, which is supposed to show you that's really good with launch. Now, here's where I get mad. We just had Dessel on a banner, and then they go and make this guy. And Dessel would have been great, except that just one problem. You're gonna have your dark attacks nulled for like a couple turns when he goes into Dark Energies mode. Jesus, I don't know. This fight's just so dumb with that 60 turns. If it had been 70, it probably would have been fine. But, a lot more teams would have a lot more flexibility getting through. But the moment you take Ramza out of the equation in your main party, it's wild. Those turns go so quick. And you're probably going to most teams are going to need a BT effect. So when I called in my Ramza friend in my actual run, that worked. But in my practice run, I used Furian's BT instead because my Ramza friend did not have the BT. He just had, the LD, and then that was it. So, you're going to probably want some sort of BT effect. If you do not run Ramza in your main party, you're probably going to want to bring one as a friend, especially because the launch at the 50% mark, I don't know. You can get around like maybe with a call, but I don't know. It's just a pain in the butt.
I think it would be very challenging. Macnol's been very, very busy with his life and work as well. So we've not had TCC challenges here for a little bit. But I would think it would be safe to say that a regular TCC challenge would be no Ramza, no Cloud, and an extreme would be no Ramza, no Cloud, no Burst. And I think that would be very challenging to try to pull the 60 turns without Ramza, without Cloud, or without the Burst. Limit your launchers, obviously. You need 3 launchers. You need to be very careful with your calls. And not having the burst for that extra phase, anyone. So, Cedar, have you approached this, and what do you think of the fight before we conclude our time together?
Yes, I have beaten Lufenia, actually. I've originally tried, I really wanted to try to fit Beatrix into the team for her buffs mechanics to deal with the orb, but I just felt like she wasn't doing enough damage. My original team was Beatrix, Lightning LDBT, and I wanted to try to do Kurasame just to get more damage into the fight. But I just could not make it work, especially when Diabolos went into the Dark Energies phase and just absorbed everything that Lightning did. It was not working. So I saw this kind of cheese method floating around, so I tried it and it worked. I brought Noctis LDBT, I brought my Ramza LD, and I brought Kais, completely purple. Whenever Diabolos enters his Dark Energies for the first time, if you launch him and get those auras off, you're able to, if you delay him, he will never enter that phase again. And if you can just keep delaying him, you're able to kill him within those 60 turns. So that's actually what I did to beat the Lufenia.
Yeah, that's a great strategy.
It's pretty cool. Yeah. Nice job.
There is some flexibility here, but it is, I think, a little restrictive, as it is really highly tuned for Ramza. As I didn't even talk about the batteries and stuff. But so we are approaching 2 hours on our show, and I like to try to keep it under 2 hours for a myriad of reasons, mostly on the production side and uploading side. So looking ahead, we'll skip host discussion for this week. We've already had several good discussions with all the updates, and we're gonna have some light content weeks here to talk about more stuff. So looking ahead, February calendar, we have a new limited time Abyss with Balthier, GL First LD on the 31st, so that's this Saturday in the United States. Caius's Lost Chapter on the 2nd, Guy's event on the 5th, Heretics, a special heretic with a new burst character. Who could it be? On the 9th, Jax LC on the 11th, and Dimensions End Entropy Tier 20, the final Dimensions End. And that does come with a banner with Cryo LD, at least it did in Japan. But there's a break in content there, a pretty long break. And then, of course, at the last Monday as this is a short month, February always is, we'll have the SQEX community stream on that final Monday of February, which will be right after that. So there should be another boss rush. At least that would follow the schedule in Japan. There might be additional events. Of course, we're going to have our 3rd anniversary campaign ongoing. There may not be. These are the events we know for sure. Thank you to Arrow. Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Mino.
One last thing that I keep not seeing brought up, and I have to bring up while we're talking about the anniversary going off. If anyone remembers, JP 3rd year anniversary, they had random login gifts.
Oh.
Like you could log in and you had a random chance of either getting like a BT token, a EX token, or like 20 power orbs or something. This did not go well.
Wow. Yeah,
that was not
received well.
So I just want to say another round of applause for the GL devs that we got amazing login rewards for the 15 days countdown to so many ingots, right? Like I would rather have that, and people always complain GL doesn't get as much as JP. Guys, we get a lot of better stuff. And so it's better than 15 days of random rewards. So thank you again, GL devs, and appreciate the changes. But as we were speaking of changes, but sorry, go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, and I think with the countdown nuggets and the divine board nuggets and the tier 20 campaign nuggets, I think our nugget drought is probably at an end for a while, especially as new characters kind of start winding down a little bit. So we are inundated with books and nuggets, and that's good. And we're gonna have new Chocobo panels and things like that too. So a lot of good content. I am. You can see behind me. I have my SQEX Trading Arts figures. I've given away all 5 of the colored painted figures. There are 5 mannequin figures, and I would like to give those away at the end of the 2nd anniversary month, which is February. And I think I'm going to do that to, again, subscribers. So have a subscriber campaign. That is, again, really the best way to support the podcast. And I think I'll do an extra campaign for those who are gifting subs and stuff as well. So we'll work on a little bit of a way to do that, but look for that. We'll start that next week and run that throughout the month, and just appreciate everybody there. So thank you to Arrow. Thank you to PoteauCedar, our TCC intern, for filling in for Crease today. And thank you for Mino for filling in for Crease as well. And enjoyed having the conversation between us here tonight. And thank you, all of you, for being here tonight, hanging out with us. That's what makes this so fun. I remember when Pierre and I just used to do it, just the two of us, and just kind of hang out and hang out in Discord when there was 10 people. And we just enjoyed hanging out and talking about it. FFRK at that time, and early on in DeFo, just on stream with a few people. But it's so great to have everybody here, and then everybody in the Discord. I think we're about 700 people in our Discord. And of course, a couple thousand people here throughout listening to the show and watching it later. And really do appreciate all of your support and how fun you make this. And going on 3rd anniversary of the game, and then 3rd anniversary of the Crystal Chronicles in March is really cool. So this has been episode 137 of the Crystal Chronicles, recorded January 28, 2021. For Mark, Arrow, Crease, Mino, and PoteauCedar, good luck on Belthier Pulls, and we will see you to talk all more about Belthier, the leading man, next week for episode 138. Till then, friends, goodbye, good luck,